What's up, everyone? Joe with ECRM here at our household session in Florida. And with me is Alex Yale, the founder of Uncle Todd's. And there's been a lot of talk about tariffs, the impact of tariffs lately, and we're going to get into how it's impacting his business and what he's doing about it. So, Alex, thanks for joining us. And tell everybody a little bit about Uncle Todd's to start.
Yeah, sure. So we're a relatively new brand. We've been around for about 2 years. Saw an opportunity to disrupt the fairly stale home cleaning and maintenance space. You've seen the same brand names on the shelf for, sometimes decades, up to 100 years. And they all sort of have similar formulas as they've had for years and similar branding styles. And we sort of took a pivot, and we have a line of home maintenance and cleaning products. We try to be typically more eco-friendly, but without sacrificing too much on price point. So value-driven, eco-friendly products in the home cleaning and maintenance space.
And you're a unique position because some of your products are made here, some of them are not. Can you take us through that?
Yeah, so our first products were septic tank maintenance products, really sexy products. And fortunately, the supply chain is entirely here with the United States. So the recent change on tariffs and imported goods has not impacted that product line, thankfully, which is a product line that we have throughout many different retail and online distribution points. But we've developed some newer products like dissolvable sheets for floor cleaning and for toilet cleaning. These are products that have sort of spun out of the laundry cleaning sheet space, the dissolvable sheet space. And fortunately or unfortunately, about 99% of the manufacturing capability for these dissolvable sheets is overseas, mainly in Asia. And so we launched these two products. They've done phenomenally well. We recently launched one of the SKUs into a large big box retailer. And then, surprise, we wake up one morning in April and, our cost of goods is nearly about double compared to what it was, the day prior, or looking back as recently as the 1st of April. So we are trying to pivot as a business, but unfortunately we have these new products we're excited about. The manufacturing capability it's just not there in the US or in North America yet. So it's sort of an evolving landscape, and we're trying to shift and do with what we can.
So how would you adjust to that? If there's no capabilities in the United States for it, where else can you go? What have you been exploring?
Yeah, so we've been doing a few different things to try to mitigate this risk and try to keep this product line going, given the success and the customer feedback we've received. So one option is try to find somebody domestically or in North America who can make it. There are a couple of manufacturers who are sort of tinkering with the technology and trying to perfect the manufacturing process behind this, which is relatively complicated. So we're still trying to search for US-based manufacturers. So if you know anybody, let me know. Secondarily, we're trying to work with some of our existing US-based manufacturers to say, hey, can you build out this production capability, right? Will you invest in the machinery and the equipment to be able to produce this? Because we think there's a demand, an opportunity that's much larger than us as a brand, because many brands are making products like that. And the third is just trying to see if there are countries we can source from that are not as heavily impacted. So looking at Canada, for example, can we get this product made in Canada, import it for a much lower tariff than what currently exists in China?
How does this impact your conversations with retailers and distributors?
It makes it difficult. We're here at this Range Me session, and we've got a bunch of meetings set up we're excited about with different retailers. And, as we prepared and sort of accepted the invitation to come down here, this wasn't a thing, right? Yeah. This is sort of 30 days old, right? So 35 days ago, all was good. All was good. We were selling these products. The price points were competitive. The tariffs were, a known factor of relatively non-consequential pricing. And so, my policy and my approach is always just to be honest, right? So, hey, this is a great product, but I will caveat, it's currently manufactured in China. We're looking at alternatives, and it's going to be a little bit of a touch and go day-to-day situation.
But at least you could say, by the way, I also have these products that are made here.
Yeah.
And one of those products was a big hit already.
Exactly.
So, but I like your point where you mentioned, because some of these products are doing very well or they got distribution, maybe it is worth for somebody to invest in manufacturing that here.
Yeah.
Because you've already proven
Correct.
that there's demand for it among the retailers.
Correct.
So do you see a light at the end of the tunnel of all this? What's your thoughts on where this is going to go, how it's going to end up in the long term?
Joe, there's always light. I'm an optimist. I'm a glass half full kind of guy. So we'll pivot, we'll change, we'll evolve, we'll try to source locally, domestically, wherever. So we'll make it work one way or another. And if we have to sunset a product, that's just the business life cycle, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes that happens, right? So I believe that the current tariff situation with China is unsustainable for a host of reasons, and our economy, their economy, can't support 145% tariff. So I believe that cooler heads will prevail and some negotiation will take place, and these tariffs will come down to probably not what they were pre-April, but certainly not near the degree where they are today. So first and foremost, this is unsustainable. This will come to an end. That doesn't change our appetite for sourcing these products domestically or North America. That's still a long-term goal, and it always has been. If we did this interview 2 months ago, I would have said, hey, I'm actively looking for manufacturers to supply this product here in the US. Just haven't found it yet. That has not changed.
Okay.
It has expedited the impetus to do so, but it hasn't materially changed our longer term focus. So we'll continue to work with great US manufacturers across all of our products and try to source domestically where possible. But at the end of the day, in some cases, the customer is not interested in absorbing a major price increase for the made in the US piece. So if I have to double my product cost, it's not feasible. Right? I can't sell a $20 toilet cleaner. People just won't buy it. Right? So we're working.
No, that's great. I mean, I love your outlook on it. You know, I think when we had all those supply chain bottlenecks 2 years ago, everybody came out of it stronger, more resilient. And I think that's also going to happen with this. People are going to learn a lot. They're going to be able to build the resilience into their business and the way they operate. And then, like you said, it'll balance out eventually. So,
That's right.
well, I wish you the best of luck with that.
Thanks a lot, Joe.
All right, thank
Good talking
you.
to you. Thanks, everybody.